Hi again. This is Hitachi 1980s style boombox. It would have come out around the same time that CD was becoming more popular. CD players were actually pretty expensive in the early days, and there were a lot of sort of double cassette radios around. This is quite a nice one. This is Hitachi TRK 3D30E, and it's got the three speakers at the front. So it advertises 3D super woofer, but not really sure if it if it can add that much bass to the music. The good thing about this one actually is, just going back to CD, is in anticipation of CD players, there is actually a line input on the back, and it's standard phono plugs. So basically, if you've got one of these and you perhaps got an iPod or something else, maybe you've got a Bluetooth that goes to analog, and what you can do is obviously use this to play back stuff in the digital age, which is pretty cool, because a lot of things, especially the ones with CDs, don't have any inputs. They tend to have maybe an output, a phono stage output. So this Hitachi is a double cassette, and picked it up reasonably cheap, knowing that there was issues. Now, what's surprising is the tape cassettes seem to be fine, and normally something of this age you'd expect changeabouts on them, but this is not bad. Condition wise, as you can see, it's pretty good. Now, what I've noticed straight away is that the volume is down very low. So just to show you, if I just turn on a cassette, I'll just turn everything up essentially. It's on tape. I might have just gone to the beginning here of the cassette. So stuck an early 90s cassette in, which still plays, a little bit old now. So this is full volume, 3D system engaged. You probably struggle to hear REM there. So the thing to do here is to take it apart, have a look at the boards, and see what might be wrong with it. So I'll just take the screws out and I'll take it apart. So I've taken it apart, well, as far as taking the screws out anyway. Probably see if it slides out. Okay, so we seem to have a connector here, and this is for the speakers at the front. So let's just pull that off. Oh, it still stands up. And there we go. What we got in there then? So we've got 3 speakers. We've got, yeah, 2 4-watt speakers for the stereo channel, and 8-watt for the middle. So pretty decent actually. Should be quite loud then normally, a lot louder than it happens to be. So what I'll do is just best to take things out as you look at these things. Okay, yeah. First things first, let's turn the power off, because it's got a mains lead going into it. Okay, so what I'll do is, if I can get this top cover off now. So there's a couple of screws in here where the handle is. They've come out. Oh, that looks fairly straightforward. And nothing connected to it. Right, what we got under there then? Sounds like a screw. So we've got the radio sort of tuner set up. So yeah, it just pushes down, and there we have the guts of it. And oh, there goes another screw. That's interesting. So for this age, it's actually not got too many things to it, and even not much in the way of boards. So one main board by the looks of it. See if we can get a closer look, I think. So this is the main board. Doesn't look too bad first impressions anyway. So that end would be the tuner end. Let's just move this along. So what could the culprit be here? Got a few, well, one big capacitor I think, and and several capacitors that look to be the same rating here. So we have, I don't know if you can see, but there's one here, there's one here, one here, and one here. So they all look the same rating. I can't really tell without using a magnifying glass. But this one looks a little bit more suspect than the others. Now, this sort of age electronics, it's very common to get the capacitors blown, and I think this one looks to be the chief one of concern. It does look like it's blown. I'll just hold that up there. I don't know if you can see that. Quite tricky to do with a camera. So yeah, see if I can find one that would have the same rating, yeah, give that a go. So on closer inspection, I think there's at least two capacitors to change. I mean, some people would say change as many as you can. I think this part of the board does seem to be the amplifier part. There's some heat sinks there as well at that end. So the other one I think is out is here, where my finger is. So that looks slightly raised, as does that one. These don't look too bad, may get away with it, but these two capacitors here I think definitely need changing. So I'm going to pop out, hopefully come back with some capacitors and put them in. Okay. This is a really nice board actually, just 3 screws holding the board in place. There's a microphone which is just here, that just slides out of the plastic. There's several connectors all connected into the board. So you take the screws out and it is just as simple as that. So that's the whole board. Always look for dry solder as well. That looks interesting. This may not go as well as I'd hoped. It does look like it's been worked on. Not a very great job there by the looks of it. But that was different capacitors. How bizarre is that? So, could this be breaks in the track here? You can see the looks a little bit messy, but then maybe not. Hard to say. I'll just get the power light onto this, I think. I don't think they've been replaced. I think maybe that's just not a very good job in the first place, or maybe some different ones have been replaced. Okay, I'll give it a go. What have I got to lose, eh? Yeah. So I've spent about half an hour with this. I'm no electronics expert, software developer by trade, so I'm not going to win any marks for soldering. What I have done is I've done a continuity test on the capacitors that I've replaced. So basically they seem to be okay on the board anyway. I've replaced 3, so I've placed this one and this one. They're slightly higher voltages, but they're the same ratings, so I've left one in place that that looks okay. Now the reason why I ended up replacing 3 was that some of the solder was a little bit loose on this side, so someone has been in here and had a go at recapping it, I think, and they may be blown, they may not be, the ones I've taken off. It's, you know, it really is hard to sort of tell. What I've done though is where the solder that's kind of been burnt into the board, some of the connections weren't great, so what I've done is I've looked down the tracks to see where the next sort of line is, and I've basically joined the legs of some of these just to make sure that I've got good what's the word? Good connection, I guess. So okay, what I'll do now then, what I've done, I've tested all of the legs just to make sure that the next point on the board there's continuity, so that looks good. So I guess I need to plug this in now and see where we go from there. I'll do that now actually, as we've got the camera on. So yeah, I mean it'd be a shame if I can't get it to work, but then my son's quite young and he's not into taking things apart yet, but he certainly likes pressing buttons and things, so you know, at least he can still press the buttons if this doesn't get any louder, but we shall see. It'd be nice if I've got it working. Tell you what, putting these things on in front of the camera is it's a little bit tricky, but anyway, they're plugged in. That's the microphone, so I'll push that in. Now I'll bring the speakers forward so we can test. What I'll do is just zoom, won't zoom in actually, I'll zoom out. So let's push this connector in. Obviously be careful if you're doing stuff like this with mains connected. Keep well away from power supply and observe some of the bigger capacitors because they tend to hold some charge. I'll give this a go actually. I'll just see. Yeah, the bouts don't feel too bad. I'll turn it on and see if we get anywhere. Huh, nothing yet. I can't remember what these controls are. I seem to have bent one of them. Oh wow. A bit sticky on there. I tried to sing along. Damn that radio song. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, hey, hey. Everything you show me. Wow, that's a surprise. Seems to be almost working. One thing I noticed then was the switches were a bit sort of sticky, so they probably need electrical cleaner. And I don't think this bass boost particularly did anything. Now I did have a look at the board, and it looked like it might have been soldered incorrectly. It looks like it's probably been taken off for some reason, so I'm going to have a re-look at the board and see if I can get that to... So just before I go back upstairs and check on the solder here, it does look like the switch has been soldered, so you've got a couple of contacts bridged just here. Don't know if you can see that. I'll take a look at that with my tester and see if I can fix that and get it all working again. Okay. So I took the board back out again. I did a couple more things. I used some electrical spray on these so they're less sticky. Seems a shame to waste your time. And whoever did have this taken apart in the past, they did solder this a couple of contacts together where this switch is, because now it makes it slightly bassy, well, sort of bassier. Not much, probably not as good as Sony Mega Bass, but it has some effect. So what I'm going to do is, got one capacitor I didn't change. I'm going to stick that inside of here on just on a side panel with some sellotape, and then if it does go wrong, stops working, whoever pops it open in the future can solder this one in place as well. So I haven't touched the fourth one because it looked secure and it looked okay to me. But this has been a real result, I think, to get this working. I'll get everything put back together, and then we'll try the radio out. Okay.
Hearts Feel Good Weekend.
We are searchlights.
Yeah, like a twister. Spin around my
left foot drives the ball in. The doctor claimed it was Henry with his left foot. Was it a shot? Or was it a cross and a beaker almost?
So, yeah, all seems to be working. The only thing I've noticed, now it's back together, is the FM stereo light doesn't seem to come on, but it does seem to be in stereo. So, a minor thing, but maybe, yeah, perhaps something to look at in the winter months. So, not sure if my son's going to be allowed to play with this now, because it's become very loud, as we can try to prove here. Okay. So this is the tape, and I'll just put the volume up. So not the most loudest deck out there, but pretty good, and a good result, I think. Got it working back from the dead. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a bit of an experiment, I guess, and been a bit of a journey to get to this bit. And if you'd like to subscribe, I'm going to be adding more videos in the future. I've just added another one as well, which is unboxing of a very cool computer. Okay, I shall say bye for now, and please subscribe. Thank you.